Okay, I think everyone is back. I hope everyone got the chance to share. If not, I'm sorry. But you want to share something in the main plenary. If you want to share something interesting that was shared in the breakout room, the space is yours.
Yeah, I'll go. So I got cut off, so I'm gonna
Okay,
I'm gonna finish my thing here. So I was just talking about how Australia is, rightfully so perceived as a privileged country, and it's true. Our nickname is like the lucky country, because the reason for that is because you can fuck up all the time and still be pretty well off, and that's true. Despite the privilege, Australians in the world stage don't do a whole lot. As a country, we should be leaders in all sorts of things like climate change, and Australians should be very highly regarded given the state of educational institutions here, and we're not, and as much as we could be. My belief is that in my entity, if this same is achieved, young people walk out of an Eyesight experience believing they can make a difference and feeling compelled to a sense of ownership for the world, because you can really cruise in Australia, and that shouldn't be the case. You should have ownership for your community. So that's what my entity looks like. And yeah.
Nice. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. One more person, if you want to share.
I can go.
Yeah, Ali.
Okay, so we had a very nice discussion in our breakout room, and one thing that really struck to me was that all of us really agreed on the fact that 2025 is when, or by the time we get to 2025, not only will we be creating leaders inside Eyesight, but even outside Eyesight, we'll have created long-term leaders who won't just have leadership, while they're like a part of our program. Even after the program is done, they will go on and spread out that leadership to the world. And I think that way Eyesight can really play its very, very important role in empowering young leaders.
That's really cool. Thank you, Ali, for sharing. Amazing. Okay, let's move to the next statement, guys. So we have two more to cover. So our next statement is building long-lasting Eyesight, of course. So the discussion about the conversation about sustainability, like right now, is more in demand than more than ever. And I think like that's where sustainability statement and the building long-lasting Eyesight comes into the picture as well. So we have the statement by 2025, Eyesight has sufficient resources to continue developing leadership for years to come. And in here, a couple of things that I want to mention. So we have the statement here. We consciously build on the knowledge of previous generation to move our organization forward. We ensure sustainability by creating value through our programs and empowering members to take on further roles. Amazing. So what are the key highlights in here? So if you check on the statement, we have consciously build on the knowledge of previous generation. So we talk about legacy, mostly like in this part, you can see like this is where we talk about like, because we have been talking about this pendulum effect in the organization for a couple of years now, because this is something we observe. One generation come and do something, next generation comes and like do something completely different, and then another generation comes and do the same thing that two generations before did. So we are going back and forth again and again, like we are not moving forward as organization. So that's why we want to avoid this and like make sure that we are building upon the knowledge of people and bringing things forward rather than like going back and forth with the same decision. We ensure sustainability is creating value through our programs and empowering membership to take on further roles. So one thing, a couple of things to mention, sustainability by creating value through our programs. So value through our programs, which means that it talks about the financial sustainability, how we can create, like provide a value for our customers, and for that, like we get financial returns, and that will allow us to maintain the organization in the way that we want to be, as well as we can develop the organization and make sure our products are evolving and we have the enough resources that we can invest on these product development and make sure that we have quality products that can give a better value for our customers. And empowering members to take on further roles. So this basically talk about the pipeline, this basically talk about succession, how we can make sure that our HR side is also sustainable and allows them to make sure that people are continuing in the organization as well. So this is a couple of highlights that I want to mention in this part. Okay, let me remove this. Cool. So my questions are for you is that how does your entity look like when this statement is achieved. Imagine that this statement is completely achieved by the year 2020, 2025, and how does it look like for you? And then second question for me is that what type of things would be possible for your entity when sustainability is reached? Maybe you are facing challenges right now in terms of sustainability. Maybe you are not doing something that you want to do, or maybe you cannot do something that you're supposed to do because of the sustainability issues. Maybe it can be people, maybe it can be financial wise sustainability. What are the things that will be possible for your entity if we achieve this statement by 2025? So I'm going to send this question into the chat again. Okay. What is happening? Okay, so I'm going to send you guys back into the breakout rooms. So this time breakout room will be, yes, that's a dream, Michael. Okay, so I'm gonna breakout room will be different. I think it will be less people and a little bit less time as well. So Yueta, can you help me with the breakout rooms?
Yep, opening breakout room in 3, 2, 1. You can join your breakout room, guys. See you guys in 4 minutes.
Did you fix the type font? The questions.
Oh, let me fix it.
Also,
okay, wow, everyone is back very fast. Okay, anyone want to share in the group if you didn't get a chance to? Oh, sorry. Go back. Okay, anyone want to share if you didn't get a chance to share, or like if you are cut off in the middle, or if you have something interesting to share, you can share.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So we had the similar thoughts actually. The most of MCs, we are doing things, but the continuous progress of it, like the sustainability of it, was not there. So we thought if we can implement it, doing things which is correlated with the other terms, then that would be perfect. And by doing that, the sustainability is creating, and then the membership is looking at that, and they are seeing more opportunities, and they have more clarity on it, and they will take up the challenges. They'll take up the roles, and that something we can see like more applicants for the MCVP candidates, maybe for the MCP candidates. Yeah, that's what we do.
Nice. Thank you, Barnuka. One more person? You want to share?
I think I can go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think like 3 of us is like having the similarity for that. Sorry. So the first one, we really want to have the money actually. So to make sure that our entity is sustained. So the second one is like we want to have like to continue our from previous generation to continue the legacy for the culture, and also like what are the good case practice that we want to have along the way to continue to grow our entity as well. And the last one is about like the pipeline, especially the MC pipeline. So because we've been struggling in MC pipeline, so there's some things that we really want to flex and we want to achieve the most as well. Yeah, that's it about me.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, I mean, like this is all about sustainability. This is about like in terms of first part was knowledge, like having good information management systems in the organization established, so we know like what happened in the organization. We have good transitions from generation to generation, people applying for key leadership roles. We have financial sustainability so that we can provide a better experience or like create a better environment for our membership, good training and development plans, and then yeah, of course, we can like provide sufficient resources for projects, R&D, things like that. I think like all these things all along the way, I think it's connected with what you were sharing. I hope you guys who had similar kind of thoughts in this these lines. let's move to the next part, which is the last statement of Eyesight 2025, which is developing purposeful partnerships. Cool. Where this is coming from? Basically, fundamentally, this is coming from the fact that like we are working with a lot of stakeholders in order to achieve our goals, and we have never been working alone in the previous years. Like if you look back, like we have always been working with either like NGOs or like partners or like anyone, corporates or anyone that has been part of our stakeholders. So that's why like we want to make sure that this is also part of the Eyesight 2025 as well, so that we are working with them in order to achieve the goals that we want to achieve. So the statement is, by 2025, we build and keep long-term partnerships that enable growth. And the statement goes in the way, amplify our impact and create value for both young people and partners by delivering on our promises. We make Eyesight a first choice partner for leadership development. So yeah, if I highlight a couple of things that we mentioned in here, so we have the amplify our impact and create value for both young people and partners. So this is also something to take note in. This we talk about amplifying our impact, which is basically a growth. We are talking about how we can make sure that more people know about organization, more people understand like what's how we can increase our impact. Because in the first statement, if you remember, we talk about how we can measure our impact. So in here we are talking about how we can amplify our impact so that it can be qualitatively and quantitatively bigger, and so that we can like actually create better impact for the community and create value for both youth and young people and the partners that you are engaging with us as an organization. By delivering on our promises, we make Eyesight a first choice partner for leadership development. Delivering on our promises. So this is basically talk about by delivering on our promises, this is where we talk about how we can satisfy our partners who are working with us, right? So they come with some certain set of expectations, and how we can make sure that we are actually delivering these expectations, so we achieve above and beyond for these expectations that they are joining with a hand with us, and make Eyesight the first choice partner for leadership development. How we can make sure that more people recognize Eyesight as as an organization that provide leadership development, and they connect with us because of leadership development as well, not because of like anything else that we have been. Yeah, it's not because of anything else, but we focus on the leadership development as the key thing that we want to promote as an organization. Amazing. So moving forward, my two questions for you to reflect is that how does your entity look like when this statement is achieved? Think about like all these things that I mentioned: amplification of impact, young people and partners getting value, and their expectations are met, and we are delivering the proper value proposition that we are promising to deliver. We talk about our value and as leadership development organization, and people coming and joining with us because of that. So how does your entry look like when this statement is achieved in 2025? What type of things do your partners say about Eyesight? Imagine that we achieve this statement, and how would the relationship with your partners and your entity will look like in the future for this. So I'm going to send you guys back to the breakout rooms for these two questions. And let me take a screenshot of this and add to the chat. Amazing. So Yurita, can you help me with the breakout rooms again? And
opening breakout room in 3, 2, 1. Can start joining to your breakout rooms, guys. See you in 4 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, maybe someone want to share how it went for you in the breakout room. How's the sharing?
Yep, I think I will go. Okay.
Yep.
So for developing purposeful partnership in 2025, as in Singapore, we only want to partner with partners who completely understand Eyesight and our purpose. And we want long-lasting partners who are willing to contribute value for youth and also pay importance to youth leadership and empowerment. We also want like a diverse pool of partners and institutions, not just from like one particular industry or sector. And also like it will eventually create a sustainable ecosystem where value partners become our brand advocates. where they promote us to their own partners, expanding our brand image. And this in turn also helps us with our another A 2025 statement, which is helping to build a long-lasting Eyesight.
Amazing. Thank you, Gumi, for sharing. One more person?
I can
Yeah, I
go.
can go.
Okay, sorry.
Vincent, you can go.
Yeah, so yes, just go, Vincent. We are in the same tribe.
It's okay. Nepal, sorry, Snehi or Gubi, anyone. Both of you can go, it's fine. Give time.
Okay, so for us, it would be like, the partner coming to us and saying, I want to work with you, and also bringing the buddy along with the partner coming, okay, I have a person, and the person also wants to work with you, where there is no competition between our LCs and MCs, where all of us are collaborating and providing a really better value delivery to the partners. And that is what we dream about.
Amazing. Vincent, you want to add something?
Oh yeah. So yeah, just to add on that, just to give a context, really, currently, like for us in New Zealand, like really LCs are just making sales individually, and as a result, like can only promise to deliver value that matches to their capacity. And due to this nature of LCs working individually, getting partners can be seen as a competitive race between each LC on building the best relations with certain partners, which at times leads to the confusion of the partner on what Eyesight truly is. So yeah, in order to achieve this, basically like moving into this generation of Eyesighters and with the trust of developing purposeful partnership for Eyesight 2025, like basically creating a clear path for Eyesight in New Zealand to be able to utilize its strength on its massive youth-led network, and really encourage LCs also to work collaboratively instead of individually. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Thank you, Vincent, for sharing, and thank you, Snehi. Perfect. So I think like with this, you're finishing up the statement, but we're not done, because we have one more thing that we cannot forget, which is the culture that we try to drive. So on the present, shape the future and lead the change are the three elements of the culture that we are focusing on right now. If you see, like our conference is also designed on this way. I mean, all the conferences are going to be designed in this way, because that's the main thing that we want to drive as well. But again, like this is what going to help us in terms of shaping the behaviors of the organization, and in terms of driving these changes of Eyesight 2025 into the even each and every single member of the organization. So my questions for you are like, what would you tell the MCPs 24-25 of your entity? And what's your dream? Like, what do you think, like if you meet them in the couple of years, and what will be your story and what you want to tell them? How do you want your region to look like from years from now? Like with all the entities achieving these goals, or then this driving to the vision that we want to achieve. How do you see the Asia Pacific as a region going to look like in by the year of 2025? So this is my next question. So I'm going to reshuffle you a little bit about for the next sharing part. So Yota, can you help me with the breakout rooms?
All right, guys, opening breakout room in 3, 2, 1. So yeah, guys can start joining. See you guys in 4 minutes.
Okay, I think people are back. Let's hear from someone who didn't get a chance to share yet. How was the discussion? What are the key things that you're talking about? Oh my God, okay. Anyone want to share?
I can go.
Yes.
Okay, so in our breakout room, we were discussing that the things that we'll tell the MCP 24-25 will be thank you for continuity, the legacy and the strength that we have, and then also we'll tell them to have more cross entity partnerships so that we can do something big. And then 5 years from now, the things that we want to see from our region is that the problems that we were talking now, like membership, financial, no longer the concern. But the things that we'll be discussing will be how can we dream big and upskill the things that we already have, because we have already solved all the concerns. Yeah, that's all from us.
Nice. Thank you, Lamin. One more person, if you want to share. Going for one. I'm going for two. Going for three. Okay, cool. Nice. I hope you guys get a chance to discuss a little bit about it. This is one of the major part that we want to cover in this session, which is how you can feel connected to the Eyesight 2025 and how you can start the conversation in your own entity regarding Eyesight 2025. So all the things that we are trying, because I remember like in we were generation, like Pyog and me, like we were MCP generation where we were working for Eyesight 2020. And then I think back then the conversation was not that intense. I don't think like we had this conversation now. We can like entities as individually connect to the roadmap, how we can connect to the midterm ambition, and what is our whole going to look like. I think that is one of the main learning that we want to take forward as well, because at the end of the day, like it's not only AI who's driving this. Like whatever like AI do is like it's not going to make so much sense if the network is not that implemented. Like if it is not, it cannot be downscaled to the network if it cannot be implemented. So at the end of the day, it's your role. Like you are the people who are driving this change in your entity, and because you are the one who's covering most part of the organization. So yeah, I think like we that is something we want to add from our side. And yes, so like I want to talk a little bit about the global timeline as 2025 moving forward. So what's happening so far is like this is how the normal timeline looks like. I'm gonna minimize my videos, everything, because I want whole screen to talk about this. So how is the in the normal context, that this is how it looked like, right? So we had the MC replanning happening in January, global conference in March, which is expos, and we had like IPM and everything happening in February, steering summits in April, we have RPM OP summits happening in May, and MC planning again in June, so an AI replanning and how it went. So like this is what how the normal planning that went for and global planning, which is AI plan interaction. So it's what's happening in here, global conferences, you get the chance to see like how the AI plan look like. And then you will chance to see like Eyesight 25 progress and all the globals and targets. And in the steering team summit, we collect the in here we collect the insight from the MCPs, and then we do the 25 progress review, AI replanning inputs, and target preparation for feedback, entry direction preparation for the feedback planning framework, and this kind of things happening in April. And then in the RPM and OP summit, we talk about entry direction downscaling, we talk about planning framework, capacity building, and all this stuff happening in here. And then we have MC target setting happening in June. This is how the normal timeline look like. So I'm just gonna fast forward this, because the main part that I want to talk about is like this one, which is in version 2021, how things will look like. Because if you remember, like in the beginning, what we did was we set goals for 6 months. We set goals for like first semester until June for Eyesight 2025, which is not going to be the case in the future. It will be like for 1 year period of time, we are going to align the timeline in the future. And so we had second semester target setting that happened in here, and final target submission in January. Goal consolidation from AI, goal validation from regional office, MCP target voting are going to happen in February, and then AI plan interaction. So AI plan interaction, target launch, and everything happened in TLC. So in right now in the steering team summit was in April, and there we talk about the 2025 roadmap progress review. I said AI ROE planning inputs, entry direction, feedback planning, planning framework feedback. And right now in May, we are going to talk about entry direction downscaling, planning framework, target setting on the target setting onboarding for 2025 roadmap. Target setting onboarding and 2025 roadmap progress review. And then what's going to happen in June, you are going to set your targets for MC targets in your MP target setting. Then you're going to submit your targets, and we feedback for those goals, and we submit the final targets. And based on that, we are going to define like how's the targets going to look like for Eyesight 2025. And then we go for like AI replanning, RO replanning, and then we change our projects based on the targets that you are submitting. And then when you go for IC, and when we launch the final targets, our projects, and how things are going to look like. And by October, we have the progress review, then again, like we collect insight for the planning, and we go the same cycle again. So this is how the timeline going to look like for this year, for 2021. And then again, like in the future, we will be setting goals for the 1 year period of time. Yeah, right now, this is the one thing that we want to highlight. So what's going to happen in these touch points, RPM and OP Summit. So we are going to talk about entry direction downscaling. So all the sessions that you're going to go through after today, it's about the products and all the other directions that we have. So we'll be about that. And then we talk about planning framework, target setting, onboarding, and roadmap progress overview. Talking about the goals. And so each of these things, we have the metrics finalized. Sorry. Metrics finalized from our side. We have percentage ideal membership and number of entities in surplus are the metrics that we are going to measure for this building long-lasting Eyesight. And for empowering youth leaders, it's the LPS response rate, and developing purposeful partnership, it's the number of amount of income coming from partners, and NPS for partners response rate. So these are things that we're going to measure. And overall bottom line for the roadmap or the statement is going to be number of leadership experiences that we're delivering to our customers or like our membership. So this is how the metrics look like for us. And then how the semester goes, that these are the goals that we set in the beginning for the 2021 first semester, which is until January, for the first 6 months, Jan to June. So this is what are the goals that we set in the beginning. So 85% of ID's membership, 60 entities in surplus, 40% of LPS response rate, and we have 1.5 K of like income from partners. Sorry, 1.500 K of income from partners, and 40% NPS response rate from partners, and 800 leadership experiences developing. So talking about the progress right now, this is how it look like. So we have 94% of ideal membership in and 110% of GBA. So we have 61 entities in surplus, 101% of GBA. So this is how the goal progress look like. So we have 11% LPS response rate. So this is 28% of GBA. This is something that we are lagging behind. And also, like, we are still trying to figure out the systems, how we're going to measure this as well. And this is we have achieved 78% of GBA for this income for the partnership. So this is basically for AI and regional office, global structure partnership revenues, as well as like this is basically for the network partnership revenue that we are looking for. And then NPS for the partners response rate, this is something we are not measuring right now. So because of that, we don't have the data. We have 377 leadership experiences delivered, so which means 47% of GBA. And so global measurement, what you to know is that LPS data is being collected, will be included in the goal dashboard as well. NPS for partner system being delayed, will be launched later in May. So that's why the goal is not there. Percentage of ideal membership, we need all entities to fill the data collection form. So this is not information collected from everyone, and because we don't have the goal submission happening from all the entities, that's something we wanted to know. Number of realization, this is currently only tracking GT and GTE. Membership realization is getting finalized, GV is post. So basically, because that realization included membership as well, and we have not yet launched this to the network or like in the platform. So that is why it is not getting tracked at this point right now. And all the other metrics are being tracked. And disclaimer, we know since the beginning that these 6 months were needed to adapt our metric system, so that this is not a surprise, or like this is not a major challenge, but we want to make sure that in the future, like, we are setting right goals, and we make sure that we are achieving we are keep tracking these goals into our systems. So how the process going to look like? So this is how the process is going to look like in the future. So preparation will happen from data analysis and summit preparation coming from AI. Then onboarding will happen for GS, which is AI global structure. And then input collection and MC planning will happen in the next step. And then consolidation, AIR or replanning will be for IC, looking at IC or TLC for the targets for the roadmap and all the metrics that we are setting. So this is how the process is going to look like. Membership realization, yes, you really tried. Okay, yes. Yeah. Any questions? So the link is open. I published the sheet, so you can also submit in here. Let me check the time quickly. Okay. So ask yourself, these are the main questions that I wanted to take forward from this particular space, is that how has my entity been working toward these matrices, and are the strategies we have to achieve our goals in each metric working? What can your entity do better to align Eyesight into a metrics? Because in the beginning, when you do the entity planning, you made sure that you also plan for these goals, because this is a consolidation of the goals that you submitted. So it was not a goal that we set or anything, but it was the consolidation that came from the goals that submitted by the entities from your replanning. And then what we did, like all the strategies that you are working on are the one that allowing you to achieve these goals and allowing us to achieve these goals in the global structure. So the question for you to ask is that how your entity has been working for these goals. Are you trying to work for all the matrices or some matrices or none of the matrices, and how you can improve in that area? Whether your strategies that you have been setting in the beginning, are they working right now? What can your entity do better to align as sector matrices in your planning? So when you go to your planning, how can you embed this better so that you will be able to contribute to the global organization direction that we want to achieve? So with this, we want to move to the next part. Of course, the roadmap is our second part that of everything that we do is comes in the roadmap. And roadmap 2025, giving you like perspective about how the overall roadmap look like. So for all of these matrices, these are the projects or the direction that we want to take. So we want to talk about organization HR evolution for ideal membership, and entity surplus. We want to talk about finance system evolution, and LPS response rate. We want to talk about leadership measurement, ELD innovation, leadership brand positioning, and number of income coming from partners. We want to make sure the market development is happening. And NPS, we want to focus on the partnership management systems. So these are the main elements that we are working on in the roadmap. Based on this, we define the projects each year. So this is the main direction that we're driving for each of these matrices. Based on this, we define the projects in each year. And roadmap 2021, this is how it looked like for us right now. So we have membership journey implementation, competency model, organization HR structure, HR data, new finance standards, finance data auditing, and finance data systems. We have LDM review, level up VPP. We have new ALD program and brand perception mapping. We have partners market research, partners journey mapping. And these are the things that the projects that we are working on right now. And out of this one, which is the competency model, will be in the second semester, and the brand perception mapping is global research, which is happening right now, and partner market research is also global research, which is happening right now. Other things are the one that you get the chance to downscale, like they will be downscaling like in this summit or in the future touch points, and that these are things that you get a chance to experience firsthand as the network. So adding into here, so Ali, can you invite Ali for she can take forward from this point onwards?
Yep. Okay. So hi everyone. So I'm Ali again for everyone. Hello, your AP representative for the steering team. So quick shout out to Ubi and Michael because they're my co-teammates in the ST. So yeah, I hope you guys are excited for these updates. Last week the steering team was able to meet and see the progress of all the different projects under the statements. And we were also able to provide inputs as representatives of our respective regions. So I'll be giving you guys like a brief summary of the different projects as of now, what was our participation as well, and the timeline. So don't worry, the rest of the week, we're gonna have the experts to really come in, those who are handling all of the projects throughout the week with more detailed explanations. So yeah, moving forward, we can see the different project starting first under building a long-lasting Eyesight. So first we have membership evolution. So you guys can see here, membership journey implementation, competency model, organizational HR structures, and also HR data. So these projects are aiming to evolve management capacity and HR practices. So this encompasses both management, so evolving the processes and platforms, as well as the experience of members. So we're trying to understand how can we better improve the membership experience delivery throughout all layers and functions in the organization. And what was presented during the summit last week was the improved business model of membership innovation and how we can better shape our mindset with TM strategies. So essentially, this is trying to emphasize quality and approach or management over just quantity of the members that we have, so that people can see the clear value of joining, staying, and continuing to engage with Eyesight. So yeah, next we'll go to the finance related ones. So, okay, you can see under here, new finance standards, data auditing, and data systems. So through this, what is aimed through these different projects is to really improve and become more proactive with how we go about revenue generation, as well as practicing cost management, and really trying to emphasize rather the systems that we can have to support revenue generation. So as this was presented to the SD Summit, especially with the finance standards, we're able to see that it's not just the content that we're trying to change, it's also the approach and how we're trying to do so. So instead of these just being like a checklist, we want to be able to structure this in a sense that it improves the decision-making, analysis, and so forth, so that we can also have clear outputs under each standard and aligning it to the context that we're in now to, one, reduce risk, and two, continue acting sustainably. So exciting. During this RPM, we're also going to see the different outputs so far. And next, we can see the timeline for all of this. So we're looking at understanding these outputs during this month through both RPM and the RPS. And then between now and IC, we're going to be responsible for downscaling these different updates. And we're going to top it off in August with the membership program launch. So excited. As a TM person, I'm really excited for this. Okay, so next we're going to go on to empowering youth leaders. And the first one we're going to see is how we can define and measure leadership in 2021. So, wow, if you guys were able to memorize the LDM as a TM person since 2017, this is super exciting. So we want to understand how we can make leadership development more concrete and measurable, both for members and the youth. So the leadership development model is currently being worked on, so that in the coming months, and especially starting August when it's launched, we can better align how we treat leadership development. And this is really exciting again, because we're trying to make leadership more intentional, and we'll have this final draft presented to us to review during this RPM, and we'll be able to provide input as well. So next we have in relation to ELD innovation. So as we know, direction-wise across Eyesight, we're really trying to diversify our portfolio in order to, one, ensure sustainability, and two, ensure that there are clear platforms or avenues that we can continue engaging and developing young people and making leadership development happen under any context, pandemic, no pandemic, anything. And under VPP, the steering team was able to provide input essentially in how we can improve the initiative, understanding that, also raising that, like, let's say supply and demand wise, there are few entities running it right now, like even if you see the opportunity portal itself. So yeah, so far so good with the phase one strategy. So phase one focused essentially on the strategy where VPP or remote GTA started first as short term from August 2020, where entities who passed the research criteria had the permission to run VPP. And for phase two, which is all about research, January 2021, starting since then, they're trying to look into midterm and also long-term, as well as the feasibility of VTP or remote global teacher. So, all right, next, we also have brand positioning. So in positioning our brand, of course, we want to make sure that we understand how Eyesight is perceived globally and regionally across the different target stakeholders. So, all right, we'll go to the timeline. So again, we'll get the updates and outputs on all of these different things like LDM and VPP. While the research entity applications is also going to be released during this month for the new ELD project. So by IC, we'll see the refreshed LDM and also the new ELD prototype. So it's exciting. So if you guys can see and tell from now, there's a lot of developments that are going to be pivotal for the entire organization during IC. So yeah. All right, so we'll go to the last one, developing purposeful partnerships. So first, we have the global partnerships management system. So you can see here partners journey mapping. And as we were able to discuss in the previous day, we recognize like how essential it is that we can improve Isaac's partnership management practices. And that also clearly came out in the breakout rooms and discussions under this earlier. And we also want to understand again how we can better deliver value to our different partners. And the expected output is that we can understand partner satisfaction through the NPS, which we'll find out this month, as well as assessing and mapping out the desired state of customer journeys. Next, we have market development for revenue. So partners, market research. So under here, we want to expand B2B through mapping investment opportunities and identify one, what sectors or markets we can venture into, and two, value proposition for those markets. So during this space also, the steering team was able to provide insights with regards to burning questions like how can we extend our reach to different territories that we're not yet present in? How can we mitigate the lack of HR with this project? And lastly, how to leverage the network, knowledge, and reach. So going into timeline, the last thing I'll explain, very simple. So again, this month, we're gonna be able to find out the NPS for partners metric system. So yeah, that's really it. There's really a lot of things in store for all of us across the organization. Quite exciting to see everything throughout the entire RPM, RFS as well. And yeah, so all right, that's it. And now I'll be passing it back to Isuru.
Thank you so much, Ali, for supporting me with the presentation. Yes, so again, like letting you know who are the people that are working for these different projects. So membership journey implementation and competency model is under me. So she's the one who's working for this. And we have Julia working for organization HR structure and HR data. Then we have finance standard, finance data routing, and finance data systems, like all these things under Navodya. And he's one who's working on this one. And LDM review is under Assis. He's working for this, and level up EPP and new LD program is under Connie, and she's working for these projects. And we have brand perception mapping and partner market research under Mari as AIVP PR, and she's the one who's working for this project, and Assis again working for the partners journey mapping. So these are the responsible people for these bottom line matrices. These Eyesight 2025 projects, and they are the one who's working for this. So if you have any questions, if you're submitting questions in the form, there's a part called like who you're asking this question from. You can mention these people directly, and they will see, and they will come and reply to you as well. Yes, so this last part, so this is our plan, this is what we want to achieve, and everything that we do, even the regional office plan, even AI plan, everything is going to be aligned toward this. And this is all the things that we're going to be doing in the next couple of months. And we are looking forward to working with you in this as well. So if you have questions, again, like go back here, you can go to this space, you can ask your questions in this one. Yes, so this is Eyesight 2025, and on the person shape the future and lead the change. And so that's it for the space. Do you have any questions before we wrap up, or anything you want to add? We have like 1 minute. Cool. If not, let me watch in the chat. No, okay, amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for the space. Then we have another very interesting update coming from Eyesight Refreshment, which is the next space, and you have break. You can follow the calendar, and I think you have 31 minutes of break, and 31 minutes, right? So and then you have Eyesight Refreshment. Lau will be here talking to you. See you guys. Take the break. Make sure that you take the break properly, like remove electronics and take your break, and then come back and join the space in the link. See you, people.
Thank you, everyone. The link is different. Make sure to join the correct link. 30 minutes. See you.